store, I got a grinder. Here it is. Panama doesn't seem to give a crap about safety, so this thing does not have a guard on it. I'm just going to have to be careful not to got my fingers on that thing. I'm going to cut out this through hull right here. I'm going to have to be real careful. I'm going to have to cut around to cut off the outer flange off of it without cutting into the fiberglass of the boat, so that I can pull this thing in from the inside. Here's what we're looking at. This flange right here, to some degree, you know, probably half of it is overlapping fiberglass. So I'm going to try and cut on the inside right here until I get down to metal, so that this whole flange can pop off and all the threads on the inside can be pulled in, and I can take that whole through hull off of there. Something like that there, and I'll get the angles tighter on there so that I get closer to making a circle. See that circle starting to form itself there. Once I get it deep enough, I'll start angling in. People that know how to use a grinder will probably recognize that I'm not very good with this thing. I'm getting real close, and I don't want to chop into the hull at all, so I'm going to finish the job with a hammer and chisel. There you go. You can see I'm starting to break through to the hull right there, the fiberglass underneath on the bottom, but I'm just not very good at controlling it overhanded, and I don't have a like a step stool or anything to get up there, so I'm just going to try and tap through this. Alright, there's the flange, and here's the through hull. See if I can hold this camera and tap it through with the hammer. There it goes. That's that through hull that was giving me trouble. And I've got another one over here. This old one here, pulled it out of there, and I got this one up here. Free and ready to pull out, but I'm not gonna pull it out because that's the drain for the scuppers. And here in about a few days, maybe 3 or 4 days, I think on Friday, something like that, it's gonna start raining, and it's gonna rain for a week. So I want those scuppers to drain out of the boat and not into the cockpit holes. And so I'm actually going to put this one back in and stick it out the hole. And rain is a really good news because all the tanks are empty here at the boatyard. All the water tanks are empty, so there's no showering, there's no drinking water. The manager went and got a 55-gallon drum full of water for us to use to just kind of bathe with for the next 5 or 6 days. And I'll be going into town to buy my own drinking water, you know, that's fine. It's not like she can control the weather. The water here, as in most places in islands, is entirely based on how much it rains, and if it don't rain for a while, you don't have water. And recently they've had a lot of work. A lot of people come in, and they've been using the water, I think sometimes folks need to be a little bit more cognizant of the fact that water out here on islands and out here in the jungle where they don't have plumbing infrastructure is a limited resource, and you got to be a little bit conscientious about your use with it. So the rain will be very welcome, except that it means that it's going to set me back probably about a week getting in the water, because they can't paint the boat while it's raining. So I can't get any bottom paint on this boat, and I need that before it can go in the water. And the rain potentially might come soon enough that it stops my welder from working, and I need him to be working and complete on that project before I go in the water also. I got time, I got some buffer time, but I just hate to use it up, because I've got till the end of May, which is, what is it? It's the end of January right now, so we got February, March, April, and May to get together everything that I need to get together. And as it's looking, I won't be in the water until the middle of February, and so that leaves me 3.5 months. And we also got to consider that 3 of those weeks is going to be spent up doing shakedown sails with the boat, you know, and then probably a week in between those, so just call that a month, you know. So if I got 3.5 months, I'm down to 2.5 months of time that I can work on the boat, which everything can come together in that amount of time. It's just, you know, using up all this buffer time, you know, it adds up. So a week of rain here, you know, takes away a week that I might need later on down the way. And if I don't get everything together in time to hit my weather window, then I'll be into hurricane season when I'm trying to leave, and I won't be able to go. I want to get to work on the frame that holds the steering quadrant. You saw that it's in bad shape. I want to get to work starting on that, but it's even hotter down in that cockpit hold. This boat gets really hot when it's out of the water, which is a reason that I'm not cooking in here, which kind of sucks, because I would like to be cooking, but you know, right now I'm just eating sardines and bread for the most part. But yeah, it gets hot, so I'll probably start working on that in the morning, because it does cool down at night. The parts that I'm expecting for new thru-hulls to replace those ones that I just took out, they're not going to come in until probably February 3rd, February 5th, something around there. So I'll be putting those back in about that time. Yeah, I've decided that that steering frame, I'll go ahead and do that with the time that I've got, with the extra week, because I can work on that while it's raining. I'll put up a tarp over the cockpit, and that'll keep me from getting rained on inside the cockpit hold. I won't let the week of rain completely mess me up. Now that I got my grinder, I was able to start working on cutting out that part of the steering quadrant structure that was all rusted out. I wanted to just unbolt it, but it was so rusted that the bolts were just all seized up, and I ended up having to chop everything out with that grinder. And I'm gonna tell you, it was a pain in the butt to get down in there. I'm about to climb down in there and show you what I did. I didn't want to take the GoPro down in there with me while I was doing it, because it was throwing sparks all over the place, and I didn't want to, you know, melt little spots on the lens. That would be bad news for a GoPro, so I didn't. And now I'll get down there and show you what I did. Alright, we got some light coming in because I got that hatch open back there, but this tiny little spot, that's where I had to climb into so that I could get the get my hands on the grinder and strap out that back piece that's not there anymore. Let me turn on this light here. Oh, that's kind of nice, have a little engine room light. Alright, I'm gonna crawl back there. Oh God. Oh, there's some stuff that's breaking. go. Right in there. You can't even see my face. There I am. Hey. So I don't know if you can see those bolt holes right there. That's where that cross piece was going. Right on those bolt holes. And it was rusted so bad that it came out. And it came out in multiple pieces and a bunch of just, you know, rust powder. So now I'm going to get in here, and all the rest of the rust that's on that support there, this whole supporting structure, I'm going to hit it with the angle grinder with a wire brush on it, and clean all of that off, all the old paint off of there, and then I'm going to get some new paint when I go into town. I'll get some new paint and some new angle iron, so I'll rebuild this backstop support that I took out, which, if you remember, that's what it is. It's a backstop for the steering quadrant, so that you know, if you go in reverse or something, the steering quadrant right here, it's going to want to spin all the way around, and I don't want it to spin all the way around. I want it to stop at, you know, designated places, so it goes all the way over to one side, all the way over to the other side, but doesn't spin around. So that's what that piece is for. I'll get that angle iron, I'll get paint, repaint everything, and put that angle iron back in. That noise you're hearing, that's the compressor from our refrigerator. It keeps turning on because it's hot. Yeah, once I get all that installed, I'll feel real good about this steering system. I won't worry about stuff. It was really creepy to look at it and see all that rust, because, man, I didn't want to lose steerage. Nobody wants to lose steerage. Who wants that, you know? Nobody got time for that. And once I've done that, I'll get in here also to this upper part that I showed y'all before that holds that, it's, where is it? This guy right here, this metal piece right here. It's just got stuff flaking off of it. And I'll hit that with a wire brush too and see exactly how bad is it. And if it's not too bad, I won't worry about it. I'll just repaint it. But yeah, that's what I got to do today. Taking out that piece took a good chunk of yesterday, because again, it's hot, you know, so I can't just stay down here and do the whole job. You know, I'll get heat stress, heat stroke, and die. So let's avoid that. Yeah. Also, while I was crawling back here, you'll remember this through hull right here that comes from that propane locker. It was a plastic through hull, and it was old and brittle, and I broke it coming through there. So I'm going to replace that, and I will not be replacing it with a plastic one. I'll be replacing it with a metal one, and because I don't want things that can break that easily. That hole is above the water line though, so you know it's not going to sink the boat. You know, unless the boat's, you know, unless I'm on a close haul and the boat's leaned way over and that hole gets in the water, you know, which is a possible thing. So, yeah, no, I'm gonna replace that with a metal one that I'll find somewhere. Safety glasses. Sucked out the feeling. Oh God. You know what? I definitely need a respirator down there. That thing's kicking up enough dust and rust and stuff like that, man. That's gonna be bad for me to breathe in. So I think I'm gonna go to town first, and I'll get measurements of what it is that I need here. And I'll get paint and respirator and all that stuff, because yeah, this ain't no good. brush. Here's the quadrant. That's the steering quadrant right there. I pulled it out. I put that wire wheel on the grinder and cleaned all this up on the outside, but I couldn't get here into the inside of it. And inside that dark hold down there, looking at this condition of this metal, that's the kind of stuff that gives me nightmares while I'm at sea. My mind goes to all sorts of places about things that I've seen in the boat and didn't fix, and it starts you know, just getting worse, you know, amplifying what was actually there. This thing is in fantastic shape. There's nothing wrong with this, but all that loose metal and rust that you see in there, that's kind of got oil and such in it, that kind of stuff would play up in my mind like it was falling apart, like the whole thing was about to rust through and fall apart. So I took it out. Here's the back side of it that clamps on there. I'm gonna take this over to the workshop and I'm gonna get it good and clean, and I'm either gonna paint it up just like the rest of the metal that's in there, which, yeah, I'm gonna paint it up, but the inside here, I'm just gonna fill that up with grease. Metal cable that goes in there into those channels, and they hook on to these spots for a, you know, it's like a turnbuckle type of thing. It's an eye bolt that you can adjust the tension on it. It goes around the edge of that thing, turns the corner, and then locks into that. And then the other one rides in the other channel and goes over to this side, so they can pull in either direction. So I'll fill that up with grease, and I'll grease up the cables that pull it. This eye bolt here on the top is where where this rope here, that's from the wind vane steering system. It hooks up to the quadrant there. So that tube back there, if you remember, that goes through the fiberglass way back there, it connects to that tube right there, and that'll get a fin that goes on top of it, made out of corrugated plastic. It'll lean over and it'll turn a rudder in the water that then uses the power of water to pull this thing back and forth. That thing pulls back and forth, and the ropes on it come to here and pull the quadrant for the rudder of the boat. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna get this over to the workshop. It's where the yard workers take their breaks. The owner of the boatyard's boat. That's a fancy boat, man. I like that boat. And these guys are up here. They're working on that little whatever that kind of boat is called. Got my quadrant right there. I made a couple of files, wire brush, wire wheel on a grinder. There's my propeller there. That thing's a lot cleaner now. Good solid piece of metal, man. That thing will work for another 30 years.